Hi everyone, my name's Claire. This channel is about empowering you on your twin flame journey, your inner divine feminine, your inner divine masculine. Yeah, and everything I do is channeling, clearing, and healing energy, meaning that the way I approach every video, the energy that I'm in is going to have something to do with who this is going to make sense to. It can make sense to loads of different people. I'm just not really one to use the word collective like you know what I mean? It's hard to explain. I do talk about the collective energy a lot, but I don't usually use as the collective, which is quite funny. Like, I don't know, I just never have really done it that way. Um, so what um I'm going to do here, sorry, I'm in slow-mo. It's Sunday, guys, I'm in slow-mo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shamanic spread, but I'm going to pull one of these shadow and light cards to get an overall theme. So, we've got huge energies. Like I said, I wrote in a community tab today, and again, I didn't really feel like when it's the weekend, unless I'm really compelled to post something or like, really, really compelled to do a video, I don't tend to write. So it was like, but I just happened to walk into here earlier because I was putting something away and my eyes got pulled to that, after a storm comes a sunshine or whatever it said. And I was like, oh, that's so like when you come out of Scorpio moon, which we just have. And obviously it was a Scorpio new moon, so particularly dark. And the new moon in Scorpio, you see, can often usher people into their dark night of the soul. So for some, that is the case, that some of you, just be aware of that. If that isn't you watching this, I can't imagine it's going to be, you know, there's no way actually knowing that, but you know what I mean? Like the majority of the people that tune into me are, oh, old souls that you went through your dark night of the soul a long time ago, or as we've discovered a lot in the last couple of years, some people that even thought they had went through it before had that rude awakening that, oh shit, I'm in it now. So, it can be hard to tell. So, like I said, I can only be the proper judge of that when I'm actually on a Zoom with you. Then I know right away. But even then, I won't always say it because it just pisses you off. Like, to be totally honest. like, um, so wherever you're at, a certain darkness is needed to see the stars. So we're all at different parts on the timeline. But yeah, it is worth noting that I've just noticed that every single year that the new moon in Scorpio can, because it is about pain and darkness, it can often usher people in to their dark night of the soul, which, yeah, it's horrible to go through it, but when you're on the other side of it, it's amazing. Because look, these cards just happen to be sitting here. The Three of Swords, which is about trauma, separation, pain in general, and the shadow side. So I really do feel that's what they're trying to say to me is some of you might be going through a lot of pain right now, healing your shadow side. And if this isn't you, if you're the divine feminine I'm talking to, regardless of gender, it's more than likely you're masculine. But just remember, some of the masculines are in the thick of it, just going into it, been in it a while. Some of them are coming out of it. Some of them are actually out of this energy and, making contact with feminines and stuff. So it's everyone's at different bits. You just got to let go. I'm just going to take my dress again off because it's getting hard in here, and not because I'm doing one of these spicy reads. I don't think. I think this is more about healing pain and maybe getting somebody out their head, because I just looked at the Eight of Swords. So let's move this out of the way. So now this is a bit harsh, though, isn't it? Like, I love these cards because they're just funny. They're very Sag Moon, actually. We're in Sag Moon. So we're in my lunar return because I'm Sag Moon. So happy lunar return if you're a Sag Moon sister or brother. Oh, there it is. I wondered where the lighter was. Now that's really meaningful. I just actually had to light the candle from a candle that's in another room. So it reminds me of that analogy of, like, when somebody else is lower energy, like that, it only takes one match. I just looked at 441, 144 backwards. So, all it takes is one candle being lit to be able to light the other ones or light the match. So that's very deep. That's very Scorpio. Um, But yeah, when I went through the living room, like this happens all the time, that was just on the floor, like the only one on the floor. And I was like, oh, so it's a bit of a harsh message. Get over yourself, pull your shit together. Help people, give back, do good shit for humanity. But look at that. Here I am channeling a video on a Sunday. So but yeah, I feel that'll mean a lot of different things to different people for whatever that's about. But change the wording, because that's a little harsh. Like I said, if you are in a painful place for good reason, then change the wording. But it's about you're needed, you're valuable, you can make a difference to this world. So let's get a shadow light card, because like I said, it's okay if it's about an hour, but I don't want to be like ages and ages. Now, I'd wanted to start doing like a past life reading on a Sunday, just so that I'm remembering to do them at least once a week, because I'm very good at picking up at past life energy, because I just do it in my everyday life. I looked at 555, big changes as well. And so, but the particular decks of cards that I want to get together for doing that, I've just still not properly tidied here. So, but my God, that's definitely a goal for this week, slowly, whilst I'm working at the same time, because I don't want this to be a mess, like right into the Christmas and New Year and stuff. So anyway, it's not as much of a mess as it was. It is tidier, because I tidied this desk. I just messed it up really quickly. Anyway, so what shadow and light card? So if this and I'm hiccuping, that's when I'm clearing energy. If this shadow and light card makes sense to you, and this could be yours, in Scorpio season, which we're in for the next few weeks, it does tend to go more like a personal reading. Really, all my channelings can be like that. It certainly felt like that when I was doing the live streams there. And I will do the other signs that are remaining probably Tuesday. There's a chance I might just, do you know what? See, tomorrow, if I've got loads of energy and I feel like it, I might just, if you see me doing live streams tomorrow, then yeah, I've started it. But I might just, I'm feeling like I might just do Mediumship Monday live tomorrow. Only if I feel like it though. And then I'll sit and do the lives on throughout the day on the Tuesday. I don't know about doing it at night. Like I said, I like to kind of, most nights, I like to kind of settle down and be in my bed like quite early. Like I don't go to sleep like, but do you know what I mean? I like to be in my bed because my house gets freezing. So I don't mind every now and again. Like I was up to whatever time in the living room. But yeah, anyway, so oh my God. This is becoming a standing joke. Right, so we've got number 21, if you can't see that. So 21 is Karmic. It's the world card. Karmic cycles completing, it's just an ending, it's like, it reminds me of like, you're graduating. So like what I was just saying there about like the Dark Night of Soul, if you've already been going through it for quite some time, facing your shadow and going inwards, and you could be graduating, coming out the other side of it. Okay, don't worry if you're not, just keep working on yourself. But that I'm saying, this card rail is really interesting. It's again, it's exactly the one I thought was going to come out, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure, because although so this could really speak actually if you are two women, because that is very much like two women, right? But just forget your gender. If you're a man and woman, divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever way, it's just whatever. But I'm seeing this as like two twin flames, right? But this is really beautiful, because oh my God, and I just opened it up at the page. Yeah, but trust me, see, when I picked that up, I knew that. I just thought, I wonder if that card with the good advice is going to come out, and it has. They're all lovely, but I really remembered that one, and I've not read this one, so we're going to read this too. And this does feel like, because my messages do most of the time do tend to be for the masculines. This is no different, but look, it's with the man's reflection there. I'm wondering if this is like, look, for the males in particular. So, and I really do know, because I've got male, like I've got male people that, male clients that, do connect with me now and again. So I know that, yeah, I can just tell that's who I'm being asked to help here. And I've just, like I said, I've not read that one. So remember, I used these cards when I was doing the signs like a month ago, and I didn't read that one. But anyway, we'll read them both, right? So, asking and telling, asking questions and talking about our experiences are the fundamentals of conversations. They both have a place and they balance each other. If one or the other takes over, the conversation might lead down a narrow road, especially when having a discussion, argument, misunderstanding with someone. Again, I must stress, it's 6.5 a dozen whether this energy is good for that or not. I would say more so that it is good, right? If you can both this, what I read here is going to be able to say it better than what I'm channeling right now, but I'm channeling God in the guides right now. If you've got a common goal to not have an argument and like reach a resolution, but sometimes to reach the peace and the resolution, you do have to have a bit of crosswords and a bit of argument, right? But it's not the kind of argument where someone's trying to one-upmanship kind of thing. Like some of the Five of Swords cards are like, haha, you know what I mean? I've won. It's like not that energy. It's like if you both want to empathise and understand and reach a peaceful like solution to the problem, then this energy is really good, as Scorpio. I just looked at 11/11, so there could be something significant about 11/11, which we're obviously only a week away from right now. But this can be timeless if you found it later on. And that, oh yeah, that's why they're getting me to say that actually, that it was last year, the new moon in Scorpio actually was a bit later on. It was like a few days after the 11/11 portal, or a few days before. I think it was a few days after. I think it was the 13th or something. So that's what I mean about the new moon in Scorpio is often ushers people into their dark night of soul. They're pulling me at 11:44 on the timer there too. So, yeah, there's just strong energies. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Mars and Cancer opposite that very potent last degree in Capricorn right now as well is really powerful energy, because you've got the Mars in Cancer, gentle energy, mothering, but that's why all this stuff is coming to the surface about mother healing and everything. And then you've got the very harshness of the old world dying out energy of Pluto and Capricorn. And then Mars, we're really going to feel that Mars is going to be shifting into Leo. So that's actually going to be like really fun, fiery, playful, quite actual energy as well, so it's going to be really quite different. So like right now is all about like digging in deep and healing a lot of mother wounds. And remember, mother wounds can just simply be that you're not very good at receiving love. You're more comfortable giving it out, or maybe you self-sabotage when love is coming your way. You'll like it's like basically if your fear is stronger than your desire, it doesn't really matter how much you want it. Your fear is always going to cause you to fuck it up, basically, to self sabotage. So that's why shadow work is so important, because you can tell the people that haven't done that, because you'll think, why do they keep doing that? You know what I mean? And it's, or why do I keep doing that? Depending on, I know when I've been in that time in my life, and I'm sure when you've been in it or you've seen other people. So, but we all snap out it when we're meant to. So that's why it's good to have understanding and remember when you were stuck in sort of karmic cycles. But yeah, the Pluto and Capricorn is pretty brutal, and that's the old energy dying out. So yeah, that opposition is going to be strongly felt, I would say, all week really, but like right now. And then again, with obviously like with the election and everything, that's going to be very intense as well. So, but we won't get into all of that jazz, so let's just stick with this. So, it might feel like there's a mountain between you if you focus only on getting your opinion or your side of the story through. If you show up to the conversation with an open mind to try and understand the other person's point of view, you might find that the mountains was really just a lake that you can swim across to reach the other person. We often get stuck on focusing on our side of the story, trying to convince the other party that we are right, or explaining to them how we feel. But if we show up to the conversation with a mindset of understanding rather than solving or explaining, we might get a different outcome, the resolution we were looking for in the first place. And that's why, look, okay, I'm going to say that when I'm a counsellor, right? But it's true, I think we've all been in conversation where you're just waiting for the next smart thing to say. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I said in that last video, it flowed through that, like, it's wise to sort of like whenever you're speaking in person or even like online, think, right, is what I'm about to say, like, helpful or wise or kind, and most of the time, there's maybe going to be times when that's not the case, but most of the time it's good to check in with yourself about that. It's like if you ever get in any kind of if you ever get any online spats with people, or you see others doing it, most of the time it's just kind of like, what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? But some people love it. I for one can't be arsed with that shit. Do you know what I mean? But it's you know what I mean? It's just it's usually when people are kind of like really get a kick out of causing trouble in person or online, it's people that are kind of like not doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like if I mean people that actively go out, like, well, obviously there's people that make it their job to that, like trolls, like, you know what I mean? It's like that shit's just going to come back around. So, you know what I mean? Most people do just kind of want peace, but it depends, because if you've not done enough shadow work, you'll thrive off of the drama and the chaos and the beef, but that can be very subconscious, so very, very complicated stuff, this. And again, that's if that's speaking to you, if you notice in yourself that actually, yeah, I think I do thrive, I think I do look for it. It's like a lot of people just can't enjoy a peaceful life because they're just used to chaos. There are things you can do about that. Like, don't leave yourself in that energy. Like, I can help people with hypnotherapy. I can help them with my main session, my crystal clear clarity, where you've got access to all the sort of different things that I do within that hour. But again, it's rarely an hour, let's put it that way, unless I've got somebody after. Um, anyway, right, so did I read all of this? Yeah, I said that. So this card encourages you to remember the balance in communicating and think about how you have conversations with your loved ones, friends, family, colleagues, or acquaintances. It encourages you to show up to the conversation with a different view in mind to understand. Your goal is to be able to swim across the lake and not have you both stuck on opposite sides of the mountain, not able to reach each other. Right, that feels perfect to me, because it feels very much like this is a message for those of you, whenever you reach this point, or if you're at it now, or it might have even been for some people, where you're having a conversation with your twin flame, I would say. So if that's not likely to be you anytime soon, it's not that it isn't for you. You can just kind of come back to this when you feel you're at that time, but this is what it feels like it's about. But again, just bear in mind it can make sense to people for different things too, so that's just what it feels like. Remember that conversations are not one-sided. It requires both parties to reach a resolution, and you can be the one to start trying to move the conversation in a direction that focuses on understanding each other rather than telling each other. It might just help you both out. And the affirmation is, I show up to the conversations to understand, not to prove I'm right. And the exercise is, next time you have a conflict with someone, which, fucking hell, this is, again, this, never mind just speaking your twin flame, this goes for anyone, because with that, with that opposition, it's very likely there's going to be, there's going to be some sort of arguments that you either witness or you're in. It's just a fact. I pray against that, but it's just, yes. So hermit, hermit if needed. But like I said, don't run away from your problems either, because, difficult conversations are a part of life. So if you keep running away from difficult conversations, it's just going to keep coming back up in another person for you to have it. So, and it'll probably come back 10 times worse. We're like, fuck, I would have much rather had that difficult conversation with that understanding person than this difficult conversation with this person that isn't listening to me. Do you know what I mean? Next time you have a conflict with someone, try and resolve it by avoiding pre-assumptions. In your head, you might have made assumptions about the other person's opinion or point of view. This time, turn those assumptions into an open-ended questions, right? So I'm also going to read this true self card too, because look, and then look what's behind that. Apologising and grudge. So, like, without even reading, like, that's very clear that there's, like, something about, having a difficult conversation, stepping into your true self. And again, it very much feels like the male masculine stepping into their true self. This is who it feels like it's for. But if you're a female masculine as well, take it on board. Apologising and grudge. Like, you could either stay in the shadow of holding a grudge, or, be open to apologies where you need to make them, and be open to apologies coming back at you, because it's usually a two-way street. Definitely if you've been making assumptions about something. So, and then the next look, behaviour interpretation is behind it, 16, the world card, and I opened the book up at that. So all meaningful, but I'm not reading them all, so let's just read that one. 17. True self, pseudo-self. Life is a constant aim to find ourselves, be ourselves, and show ourselves authentically to the world. But the reality is that we show many different versions of ourselves and not just one self. Sometimes we even show ourselves as someone we're not. You might realise this about yourself too if you think about how you show up when you're with your family compared to with your friends, and again with your colleagues or strangers. You might see that how you act, what language you use, and what things you share or hide about yourself are different. Sorry. Instantly I'm just laughing at myself thinking, I'm sure, like, people show up different in the group chat to how they show up with their partners and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone, but you know what I'm saying. Some people definitely that aren't in their true selves. I think it's, that's why where possible, I'm going to say what I always say. It's great to have therapy to get in alignment with your true self so that your true self doesn't differ vastly from place to place. But that is certainly not. Well, a lot of people are definitely in their shadow, in the world in general. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we're praying for people to come out of. As you can see, there is not just one true self, one way to always be. There are different sides to us, and we show different sides to different people, and that's okay. Showing your true self doesn't mean to show everyone all of us, but to always show what is true, no matter which side of us it is. Problems might occur for ourselves and others if we choose to show something else. And so, right, I feel this is really, we might need to bring some of the message cards into this, because that's really, like, clear in the case of, like, twin flames, where we've got a whole wave of masculines, like, not just this year, it's every year, that, I'll be channeling messages and other people will be channeling messages about, like, you made me realize my shadow self, or, like, just people in regret about, like, thinking that when they're in their shadow, like, no, this is what I want to do and I'm not going to care about this person, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. And and then it's like spiritually waking up and being like, oh my god, like, you know what I mean, like, do I stay in the shadow and just, like, pretend like I still, like, believe that I was right, or do I apologize? And sadly, not just twin flames, but people in general, if you think about anyone that's wronged you in life, some people just choose to stay in the shadow of it, the unhealed shadow. But what's not nice about it is that can leave people stuck in a lot of pain. And so that's why it's like, even so, if I'm even, let's get real here, if I'm speaking and you feel like, oh, you're in that, if it's not practical that you can act, that you feel like the person's actually going to be open to you apologising, this feels like I'm speaking to karmic anyone right now, or when you've acted karmic, I don't know who this makes sense to, then say it to their higher self, like, just put out that energy of, I've now realised I was wrong and I'm sorry. But yeah, where you feel you're in a position to actually say sorry, you can do it, but you've always got to be open to the fact sometimes too much has been done in the person. Well, sometimes people don't even want to hear it, and then sometimes you've got other people that would accept the apology, but just because someone accepts an apology, it doesn't mean they want you back in their life. So I mean, that can be tough for some people to take, but it is true, and that's why it is good to sort of think before we speak, or think before we, especially when I always pick up on all this stuff about slander and stuff like that, and, like, making up lies about people and black magic and stuff like that, because this is what people tend to do when they're really in that unhealed shadow. Right, so, but some people just copy what they've been taught by others, whether it's family, friendship groups, whatever. So if you can see the error of your ways and do better, then do better, you know what I mean? But wait a minute, let's see. Problems might occur, blah 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 blah. This when we're challenged, it's easy to slip up in defensive mode and talk ourselves up to seem better than we are, to prove our worthiness. Yet when our confidence is low, we might instead put ourselves down and take more blame than we should. Yet, and that's what I'm always here to say. It is difficult because, like, actually, right, because this is confidential. I said to somebody in a session that I've done in the last sort of few months, right, because I've got a very good rapport and energy with all my clients. If you can honestly sort of say, like, if you're sort of recognizing that you hardly ever say sorry, or you never say sorry, well, when somebody had said that to me that I was helping, I was like, you know what, that's a really great start to actually be able to voice that to somebody you trust. Because, and remember, this is anonymous, so it's like, you know, this could be anyone, male or female. Um, because when you can actually say that out loud to somebody like me, that is, it's my job to be able to hold your shadow, then we can start to work on, like, you know, I wonder where that came from, like, you know, and it usually is you've grown up around people that didn't say sorry for how they treated you, or didn't say sorry to others for how they've treated others around you. You know what I mean? And then if and then you'll tend to attract friends that are like that, and you know, you are lovers, and it just becomes normal. You know, it becomes your normal. And that's what we say, there is no normal. What's normal to the spider is chaos to the fly. Um, so don't accept it. You know, I for one, whenever I'm around anybody that doesn't say please and thank you, and doesn't say sorry and take responsibility for when they fuck up, I don't appreciate it, because when I fuck up, I take responsibility and I apologise, you know. But I think in these sort of situations, well, there's two things. No, I'm not even going to separate it. They're saying to me whether we're talking about things to do with karmic energies or whether it's things to do with twin flames. Well, the problem with twin flames is there's a lot of ghosting and running and avoiding. So, you know, there aren't really a lot of ways to have the conversation if the person's not willing to have it. But with karmic energies too, that, you know, it's a lot of the time somebody becomes a karmic person because, you know, because I've helped people with this for so many years, like, and obviously been in things like this myself. It's, you get to put, you cannot talk with some people, you know what I mean, like they'll just keep cutting you off, or they'll just keep trying to, you know, like prove that they're right, or, you know, you get people that will shout and swear, and it's like, and the worst thing ever is, this is why, you know, I don't, like, you know, I've had year in my dark night of soul, I didn't drink for like quite a few years, and then, but I'd still go on nights out and stuff like that. But um and then obviously in the last sort of few years, when I've wanted a drink, I would have one. Sometimes it's went all right, sometimes it hasn't, and it's just, but basically I just see myself as like, I don't drink, you know what I mean? But um because it's never really that worth it. But what I'm trying to say is if you say you are somebody that doesn't drink, right, and you're around a whole load of people that are drinking, depending on how late say it's like more of, not like really a club environment, say it's like you're kind of chilling and it's somewhere like a pub or like a house party or something, you know, when people get into big hearts to hearts and that, and then people start getting into their shit, and it's it can be, sometimes it can go well and it can go right, you know, like, but 9 times out of 10 something always goes wrong there, you know, like whenever I've watched other people doing that, or whenever I've been a part of it. So you know what I'm saying? It's not the ideal circumstances to really talk about stuff, is it? Um, but um, yeah. So I don't know what that's all going to mean to somebody, but look, fuck's sake, I've spoke for 30 minutes here. Right, let's just get to the end of this. Where did I get to? This card challenges you to not make yourself seem either less or more when you're presented with uncomfortable truths or being questioned or challenged. Check in with yourself. Are you in need of other people's validation to feel good about yourself? Are you depending on approval and praise from other people more than you're depending on yourself? Oh, so that's why they're making me talk about therapy, because basically that's why I'm forever saying that pretty much on like every single video and every single live stream, because it's true. Like, I can always spot when somebody hasn't had, like, you know, like, yeah, had, I can spot when somebody hasn't had therapy basically, or I can spot when they've had, I can also spot when people have had therapy but they've had a bad experience, so they think all counsellors are shit. Like, that's like not a good attitude to have either, because like that would be like saying all doctors are the same, all teachers are the same, all healers are the same. Like I've said before, there's shit people in every profession. Do you know what I mean? And there's people that are working for the dark in every profession, but it's yeah, it's, that's basically about, you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. So that's where the problems come up on the twin flame journey, because you really need to meet yourself very deeply, um, and do that shadow work to be able to balance the energies. But, and that's really just it, because I'm basically addressing twin flames in this, but for anybody else that's watching too, like everybody benefits from therapy, because if you don't, you'll do what that last bit just said. You'll be looking for validation from other people to feel good about yourself. It's like when I've said before, that's the person, the male or the female, that needs like loads of attention from loads of different people, online, offline, a bit of all of it, and but really, like, when that catches up with you, it leaves you feeling very empty, because unfortunately, like, it makes me sad when I think of all the people I've helped in that place over the years. You realise it's just empty. Like, those people that are wanting a piece of you, like a piece of meat, they're not really caring. Most of these people are not really caring about you. You know what I mean? And when you start to heal and you start to do that shadow work, you start to be like, actually, I want somebody that really cares about me. Right. So, this might be a clue that you need to work on relying on and loving yourself instead of living in your pseudo self. Yeah. Remembering who you are is how you take your power back. And remembering who you are and how you take your power back is exactly what I help people do on this channel. I empower you to empower yourself through soul retrieval and healing your inner child, healing your shadow, and lots of other things. And right now, actually, I've just remembered the card that came up a few times in a row was overcoming childhood trauma. So I feel that's been a huge part of what this new moon in Scorpio has been encouraging people to do, is really do that inner child healing. So if you want somewhere to start with that, if you've never done anything like that, there is loads of inner child things on this platform. But if you care to check out my stuff, I have inner child soul retrieval. I can't stop burping. That's when I'm clearing energy. On the playlist, which is called Meditations, Activations, or something like that. I think you have to scroll down quite a few. I'd love to see YouTube fix that, where you could put things in alphabetical order or something. I think maybe actually you can, but you know what I mean. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't know. It seems cluttered to me, because I sometimes think, oh well, I just delete these. I might do that one day on a Virgo moon or something. Just delete some of these playlists. I just don't like the setup of it. Anyway, because as well, like I've said before, it's not really wise with my stuff to listen to, like, well, it's not wise at all to listen to more than one of those soul retrieval videos, because you've got to let the energy integrate. But it's more than likely that a lot of people do put the playlist on and then fall asleep, and you've listened to about 10, and it's like, so where possible, I wouldn't don't let the whole playlist run, just find the video on its own. But I know it can be annoying to do that. But affirmation: I am who I am, and I don't need to make myself look better or worse than I am. So it's about acceptance. It's about accepting that we're all flawed. We're all beautiful, imperfect beings, and when you can accept that in yourself, you can accept that in another. Next time you get the feeling that you want to show off, try and resist doing it. If it isn't asked for, oh my God, right, boom, drop the mic. That's amazing, because remember, that's what just if you watch that longer one that I put out with the goddess Isis on the front, that is exactly what flowed through. And like, that one, I could feel, the new moon conjunct my Saturn, and it's still, it's the moon's in Sag now, so it's more my Sag moon, but that can bring through some brutal electrifying truths as well, because my moon conjuncts Uranus, but which is shake you up to wake you up, but more so than the other one, I could really feel the heaviness and the weight behind it. Like when I listened back to it, it was like, oh, that's a strong message. Because remember, I'm just passing on the message, very free, rebirth, come to Jesus moment. But it's like, it really is that that's the exact same energy that I was channeling in that last video. Was like, whenever I spot people's egos taken over, or like the group consciousness, like the group ego, it's like, I nip it in the bud kindly, because it's not going to benefit anyone. It's just and that's why I say it all the time, like, it's one thing being confident, it's another being cocky, and like, and it's, and and again, I say this all the time, so sorry people hear me say this all the time, but it's true, just to really stress it. People that go on about, oh, I don't have an ego, I've not got an ego at all, and it's just, no. Like, if you didn't have an ego, you'd be boring. People watch me for, yes, my healing abilities, and whatever else, my banter is. But whenever I've asked that question, people say they watch me because I'm funny. It's just like, it's like I'm funny when I'm being fucking mean to me. But anyway, do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, so whatever people watch me for different reasons, it's and to learn about their psychic skills and all that kind of stuff. It's yeah, it's my personality too. Like people that watch me regularly, well, you gel with me. But like I said, we've also got the lurking haters too. So they're just, they're my light irritates their demons and they're watching because they like to be annoyed by people. Fuck knows. They're just nosy. People have got all these different reasons, right? But you know what I mean? Why do any of us tune in to anyone? We find them relaxing, comforting, funny, entertaining, useful, blah blah blah, educational. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a wee mixture of all this stuff. But the point is, when people are too like showing off and like but you can feel underneath it that it's not really genuine, it's a bit fake, like it is so off-putting, and that's why I say that all the time about like just find your true self and step into it, because when somebody's like being like showing off, whether it's a woman or a man, it is just so off putting, when someone's just being genuine and owning however they are, however the cool part of them, the geeky part of them, the mixture of both, the imperfect, the perfectionist, that's really hot. That's attractive, when someone's just being themselves. Good drop the mic, love it. Spoken like a true Aries. Right. Um, Right, so I am who I am, and I don't need to make myself look better or worse than what I am. Yes, oh yeah, I read that bit. Next time you get the feeling that you want to show off, try and resist doing it if it isn't asked for. Also, try and identify if you did something recently just for the sake of impressing someone, and try not to do it again. It's kind of like, they're giving me the example. I give this example all the time with Twinflames, but it's so spot on. They're giving me the example of in Greece when they're at the beach and it's like, la, na, 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 and it's all romantic and that. They're like cutting about on the beach in love. And then, cut to when they're at the school and she's talking about, oh, I met this amazing guy at the beach and all. And then when she says his name and they're all like laughing and shit like that. And then, which again, that's actually, I've never used that. I don't think I've used that as an example, but that's nasty, isn't it? Because like they're meant to be both their new friends, but they're meant to be friends and they're all in on something. And it's not very nice that they don't actually give her a heads up and then she bumps into him. You know what I mean? So there might be something in that coming through there because of that's not really, but that just stuck out to me there. So it's not really that. It's just not a nice ending. That's what that would be karmic friends, wouldn't it? And it like everybody knows something and you're not in on the joke, and then you get fucking put into this shocking scenario. But some like that's why these things come through all the time, because it is shadow season right now. It's coming through like mean girls or cruel in the gang. You know what I mean? Some people get their kicks out of that. Honestly, some really do, and people like that make me sad for them, because the karma that will come back at people that take joy in being that cruel. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what looks like happening there actually. Like that card. So anyway, but yeah, no. What I was more thought they were showing me that for was like the bit where it's like she's like, what is he? He's like, Sandy, Danny, and it's like he falls out of character for a second because he's like, oh my god, and then he's like, then he falls into it's cool, baby, rocking and rolling and whatever he says, and she's like, well, what? Who the fuck are you? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like a really good exaggerated example of what not just men do, like women do it too, and it's but when when you sort of grow up, and again, it's got nothing to do with age, mature as a soul, you just think, fucking hell, you know what I mean? You can't keep cutting on like that. Love. Yeah, it's about love, guys. Right. I don't know if I want to do that. That's going to take forever. No. Not even go in. Right, let's just quickly do it, right? So, the card in the south, I'm just going to, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to, they know what it is. I'm not going to read them all out. I'm just going to do 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what's on the bottom? Wow, the child in reverse. To me, that's about what I've just been saying about inner child healing. So, right. Oh, oh god, I thought it was a child again. That was, but I actually have got of the big deck. I've got two. So that could happen if I was using the bigger ones, but this is just the wee ones. Right, the ghost dance. Oh my god, how funny! Oh wow, how funny is that? That's not what that means in that deck. But I've got my different language with all my cards. That's not a coincidence. I was talking about ghosting. You know, like you can't have a proper conversation with someone when they're ghosting you. And remember, this doesn't need to be about. No, it is. It is about twin flames. Like, you know what I mean? I was going to say, like, some of what I'm saying can be for karmic things too, and stuff like having conversations, but feels like it is between twin flames. Right, so, 1. The card in the south represents that which you need to let go of, that which needs to be shed. It's an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. Now remember, these are so samey, but they've been kind to me because 3 of them are in reverse. It won't take that long to read it, so I'm going to skim through. So, an old wound. I just opened up at the Coyote, that's the trickster, and actually at some point this month we are in a Mercury retrograde again. Right, so this is what you need to let go of. Before I even read it, let go of ghosting people. Yeah, like face up to what you need to face up to. There you see, that's the Saturn token. If you're trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, mourning a lost youth or opportunities missed, it is time to make an altar for the ancestors. Oh my god, that's amazing, because it was literally just all Saints' Day is the first, and then All Souls' Day was yesterday. So absolutely, I hope that you paid respects to the ancestors. Again, I call in the ancestors and pay respect to them every day, but you do you. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny into the wind. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime. Are you kidding me? As the people we loved or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives, there is no learning for you there anymore. Okay, well, do you know what? I'm just sorry to laugh, but I'm laughing at the fact that I actually specifically said this is for the men. Because I don't, I've only just been saying that like the last few weeks. Like, I mean, because a lot, like, again, most of my clients are the masculine energy, but females. And then a few of you are men. And I work with some men that are the divine feminine too, but it's definitely one for the men here. But yeah, just to, so you can read it for yourself. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, the karmic ones that come back to fuck up your life in this lifetime because they weren't satisfied with what they'd done in the past life. And remember, it is a past life reading. Oh my god. As the people who loved or hurt us have a way of repairing our lives, there is no learning for you there anymore. So that's definitely going to speak to people that if you've let an ex come back, and I've just realised something. I watched The Holiday yesterday, right? Because I was just sort of cutting about in that, and it was like I'd ran a bath and it was on. I thought, oh, I don't really want to watch it. I ended up sort of watching it, and what was really sticking out to me was the bit where, like, Jack Black's character, he literally is. He's in the video shop because it's that freaking long ago with Kate Winslet, and they're just walking about as friends because she's done the house swap with Carmen Diaz, and he sees his girlfriend walking past with another guy. So he runs out and he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, whatever, tries to explain herself. And then later on in the film, he's like, she calls him and he goes to meet her and she's like, I don't know what I was doing and I'm sorry and, I don't deserve you. And he's just sitting there and you can see he looks really vacant, like, yeah, I don't deserve this. And you don't deserve me. You know what I mean? It's that moment when you start to realise you've been really settling for way less than what you deserve. And I don't know about you, but I definitely remember moments like that in my life. I definitely remember moments like that in my life that were very, I mean, I don't know why I'm laughing. I could laugh because it was so long ago now, but it was very harsh wake-up calls. Particularly one for me where I heard somebody pleading down the phone to somebody else. Yeah. That was that, you know what I mean? There's not much, again, but see, I'm sometimes, and again, that's not my twin flame, by the way. That was quite clearly a karmic partner. But it's like, the point of me saying that is you've not really got a leg to stand on in that case. Do you know what I mean? For yourself, like to get in touch with your true self, it's like, right, come on to fuck, Claire. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's time you look in the mirror and be like, do you think you deserve that? And I think the answer was no. So, but luckily that's what best friends are for it too as well. And it's, yeah, funny memories. Right, so not funny and funny. Not funny and funny. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, so 63. The car, you know, you can laugh about things. You know, you've healed from it when you can laugh about things. But you know what I mean. But I suppose I'm sharing that because it's I can think of I can think of another time I had a moment like that too, which I'm definitely not sharing that. But it's like, you know, it's a fucking wake up call. You're like, this person is treating me like shit. And yes, it's in my case, because I was young, it's part and parcel of growing up and realising your worth. But that's why I always say, like, I'm so grateful to the karmic lovers and the karmic friends and the karmic whoever, karmic clients in some cases, like karmic people that have shattered me from a great height and treated me like that. And I'm grateful it happened when I was so young, because that's how I've been able to help Twinflame for the past 10 years, because a lot of that happened to me when I was so young, and then it continued to happen to me even throughout the throughout the years, I might add. But you know that I can safely say the last few years, thank God, it's more peace than it is chaos. Do you know what I mean? Because you get better at recognizing, nah, like I'm not wanting to be around people that are not facing their unhealed shadow, because they'll just play mind games and keep you, keep you second guessing, like, you know what I mean, and keep re-traumatizing you. Like, no. Um, right. So, the card in the West represents a part of you that needs to die, as an old story that needs to be let go of, so that you may find a new meaningful story. And that is the Wind, 63. There's a change in the wind springs to mind. And it's reverse, so that's good because it won't take long to read. When wind comes as medicine, you're being invited to recognise the value. Oh my god, of course I just mentioned chaos, and look what it's saying, chaos. So if you're new around here, the famous tagline is, it's just God speaking through me. So that's why that happened. So wait a minute, I'll read it all. When wind comes as medicine, you're being invited to recognise the value of chaos. Windstorms provide necessary chaos to clear the air and spread seeds so plants and trees can take root in new fields. Right now, it may seem as if your world has been turned upside down, but this is a temporary storm that will blow over. Oh, there's that word again, the storm. And only noticed after I posted that one about the sun after the storm that had the word storm in it again. So that is not a coincidence at all that we've got that we've got like the election tomorrow, and it's the word storm is coming up, because to me that just, again, I don't really want to go too deep into that, but it's the storm that I've been channeling about for years has so much to do with twin flame unions, karmic endings, the new earth split, um solar flares. It's all got something to do with it, and it's like because a lot, because I really just see a lot of the bloody celebrity stuff and all of the other stuff is like a distraction of the bigger stuff. But um this is talking about tower moments. Perhaps communication is broken down between you and another, or your many to-do lists are overwhelming you. The medicine is to simplify, slow down, course correct if you need to, and wait out the storm to clean things up. Just know that all storms have great value if you can remain neutral during their course, and that is what to do during like this storm, is stay grounded, because like I didn't word it very well, that was my dyslexia, but however I wrote it in the post, what I meant is try to stay grounded, because many people won't actually be able to stay grounded. So as many people can stay grounded and calm, that's going to be good for the planet in general. It's like kind of like if you notice people are really tetchy and looking for an argument this week, try to be the person that's like staying grounded, and even if you're silently putting a gentle calmness out there, or in some cases you have to look out for yourself and get the fuck out of there. If people are looking for an argument, just step out the ring. They can't argue, let them argue with themselves. You know what I mean? Greater clarity and good things will come from it. Remember, this too shall pass. That is my favourite saying when it's things like that. I actually said that on one of the lives, I think. So remember, that's the part that needs to die. So this is definitely a karmic something ending. This is a karmic romantic relationship breaking down, karmic friendship group, karmic family, karmic, like I said, karmic anyone. It can be business things. Right, free. The card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You have learned the lessons from the south and the west. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? And it's the gatherer in reverse, which is also 21. Which is also 21. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that till I just pulled my eyes to it. Oh look, we've got 21 and 22. What's that? 42 and 63. So these ages could be significant. But how funny that 21 lads. So, because remember, 21 is the world card, coming full circle, learning your lessons. So, it's endings. Right. Right. Do not wander. So, what's this? This is the one. This is the wisdom and the medicine you've learned. Do not wander too far afield and search for what spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance of receiving. Oh my god, that's what I was saying on the live recently, or on the video. Was that on specifically on Halloween? I was, like I do that when I'm guided to. Like I will actually get down on my hands and knees and pray, and I'll pray for the things that haven't manifested yet. So that's yeah. So there you go. That's that coming in. If you're in a scarcity mindset, open your heart to look beyond current conditions and you will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. Wow, so what I'm getting from that is this feels like men that have been with, again, remember you can be a woman, but it's just because I was feeling it and then that card was clarifying it because I hadn't seen that card yet. This feels like men that have been in karmic connections with other women, or if you're same sex, other men, kind of like, but you've been with somebody that like maybe like ghosting and not treating each other best, was having a fight and then making up and then not apologizing, and chaos, because that's what he's, maybe that was like, that was the way, that's what you've been used to, and maybe that's what you've seen as well, like growing up or something. But it's like, this is what you're learning is like, being thankful for what you do want, and practice like sharing and things, like when you're wrong, say sorry, and knowing that it's okay, because the person you're saying sorry to is going to fuck up at some point too, and they can say so. And like I said, most of the time when you say sorry to someone, there's a sorry coming back at you too. So, right, the 42. What's the last one? The card in the east represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. So, that one's upright. And I'll also read the child because of what I said about the inner child stuff. But like I said, it's always healing the inner child round here. We're always needing to do that. We're always needing to retrieve back a part of our inner child. When it comes to your awareness, I might add, you can't do it if it's not in your awareness. The Rainmaker is a master of manifestation who can call in the elements of nature to serve the greater good. When the power of co-create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all. When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone suffers. Oh, look, that's going back to what I've said there about the ego again. That's why when you're showing up in your like pseudo self or your fake self, or you're kind of like, I don't know, like I call it a cock off. When people do that, whether they're male or female, I just, you know what I mean? It's just, you could do it's not authentic, you know what I mean? I don't even, to be honest, I rarely use the word authentic, because I've found online when people say authentic too much, they ironically aren't very authentic. But do you know what I mean? I probably prefer the word genuine, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's more real to just show up with the truth of who you are than kind of like put on a show. Because it's basically, when you do that, you'll notice when you do that with other people that have really done a lot of that, it doesn't last long, because it's like the power the power of everybody holding space will transmute it, is what I've noticed whenever I've been at like on I was going to say like in-person sort of groups like that, and it's usually always on a coffee break or something when someone's trying to do that, and it's like you can just kind of see people kind of like, it's hard to explain, but I can, rather than seeing people doing the eye roll, I more can like feel people doing it to themselves. But it happens online too, you know what I mean? It's just wise to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right. Where did we get to here? When the earth is parched, the rainmaker calls for the waters from heavens. But we haven't got good examples of that, because in the world, like whether it's in politics or anyone in leadership, actually a lot of people do come from a very old school, authoritarian Pluto and Capricorn. Like, I'm going to tell you how it is. This is right. I don't want to hear from anyone else. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's dying out. And what is being reborn very, very soon, I might add, because it's the 19th of November, is Pluto in Aquarius. So I've already noticed the shift, like, and you know, definitely online and certain things, and I've noticed it where it's like, and I'm just feeling that, you know, the consciousness of the world is starting to shift towards cooperation, you know, like not competition, and but it is getting ugly before it gets better. Like, and it's, you know, it is intense astrology, but I can feel both. Um, when the earth is parched, the rainmaker calls for the waters from the heavens, and all that is dormant in the fields and the people's hearts springs to life again. The rainmaker is calling you to create something new from the elements that are already in your life. Be sure you work with what is and not with what might be or could have been. So there's something really important here. I feel that this is about, so again, like I said, it specifically felt like it was for the men out there. So, you know, it could be for like male divine feminines too, but it more feels like, we're just going to say anyone, right? But I was picking up on like a lot of male energy, but because I have been the last few weeks, but it's like it feels like anyone that has been in a karmic dance of toxic trauma bonding, that you would now be able to recognize that's what that is. And like I said, we've all been there. You could, if this is yours, you're still in it, you're coming out of it, or this is past energy, you know, you'll know better. But it's like what you've learned from it is that you basically don't want that anymore, and that you want to be somebody that shares and gives equally as much as you know, you want to receive back as much as you give out. You don't want it to be kind of like somebody's always winning. And I'm kind of getting that image again as somebody that, like, somebody makes a lot of money, and then somebody that like rinses somebody's bank account for like fancy handbags and nights out and shit like that, and living separate lives. You know what I mean? It's but change it to whatever it's kind of like it's not a partnership. So it's like this feels like a lot of the men in particular that want to step into reciprocal true divine unions and can see the difference. Like that's the thing. Sadly, a lot of people can't see the difference when you're coming from an wounded inner child and an unhealed shadow. That's what you'll be led to, chaos basically. Um, the seeds that have been silently germinating in your heart will burst forth ready for the sunlight. Do not hold back. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice. I cannot say how magical is that. That happens every time I do that spread. Those cards could have landed anywhere, but that is the one for the last one about how you're going to share your treasures and your gifts. Take a risk. This feels like taking a risk with your true self in the right direction this time. And instead of running away and ghosting the issue, like facing it and taking a risk. But that's scary. That's what I can feel. It's stepping in your true self. Oh, wait a minute, they're reminding me to read the child. So like I said, for me, when the child shows up and then I opened up at the book, that's funny, I did think it was going to be about an hour, and it is. When it shows up, especially if it shows up in reverse, I do see that as, if it was upright, I'd probably say something about inner child fun or something, but because it's in reverse, I do see it as like the wounded inner child, which is what showed up in the shorts. So I might pin them below because it is timeless, but we'll not be able to find the shorts if I don't pin them below. The child comes to show you how much. This child comes to show you how you can correct the course of your life without being punished. Oh my God! Right, boom, drop the mic. That's beautiful, because you see how it's like in these sort of karmic connections, like punishment could be like, well, you just don't speak for 3 days and then you just start speaking again or something, or like, I'm going to go and cheat on you because you cheated on me. You know what I mean? Toxic. These are just examples. I hope that isn't going on, but I mean, you know, it will be someone. Set yourself free from the conditioning for your suffering. You were born unfettered and happy and can be so again if you make the choice right now. And that's what I said in the last video. You can make the choice right now. And then by the time we come out of the deep waters of Scorpio season into Sagittarius season, you could be, you know, breathing a new like lease of life, and, you know, fresh air and energy into your life of not repeating these karmic cycles. But only when you cut them off now and you decide to start healing. The child will help you climb out of the hole you may have dug yourself into to recover your sense of play. Wow, right, and because of that, I'm going to shuffle some of these. I just got drawn the Heaven on Earth card in case it comes out again. Shuffle some of these, actually, falling on the ground. I think it does call for some divine masculine message. A minute, I'll pause it and let's see, what have we got? Oh, dolphins. If you saw the last one I put out when I was going on about the Apollo, that's quite funny. Oh yeah, and also shit, because dolphins to me are about inner child, even if it didn't say that, but it does actually say play. So how, right, that's magical that ends by saying play, and this is saying play. It's okay to relax and smile again, share your flow. Yeah, that's definitely somebody that's either already healed from karmic relationships, karmic romantic relationships, friends, family, whatever it was for you, or that is going to be the end result when you do come out and end the cycle. But the fact that you've had 221s is a huge sign that those karmic cycles are ending. Portals, so I think that's talked about 1111 portal, doorways into now, letting go of the warrior. Yeah, and I feel that means, like, you know, you don't have to fight and be defensive anymore. Like with these connections that you're moving into and ascending into, that the Pleiadians are supporting with expansion, love for all, playfulness again, release the past, rise into Pleiadian frequencies, sacred bond, that's after I just said about divine union, healing, clear space for higher energies, the last cloak, look, release old identities, magnificence, realize this is about that. This is about the pseudo self, releasing the mask, you know, the identity that it's not. Oh, look. Say no more, the storm. It's okay to feel it all, cleanse, collapse the old, realignment. You know what? I'm not going to bother with the divine masculine messages because it feels crystal clear. You know, each of your divine masculines will give you your own personal message if you just get still and tune in. Or like I said, for some of you, it might be like in the actual physical with what I'm picking up on here, and it will be at some point. You know, if as long as you keep doing the work and you don't run away from healing your own shadow, and don't rush it. You can't rush this. Like I've said before, it's not a case of doing one soul retrieval or, you know, a bit of healing and your twin flame's going to turn up. It's far from it. You know, if you've watched my whole journey, you'll you'll know that. But you know, it does take a lot of work, and this is for people that have been doing the work for years, and you've retrieved enough of your own soul back to be meeting your own soul in the physical. So yeah, it's a carrot dangling for everyone else to keep doing that, you know, and then you can step into that. But just keep playing and have a smile on your face while you do it. It's exactly what I said on the last live that I done. You know what I mean? Like, look, I am in inner union, and it doesn't mean I'm like, oh, I'm in inner union, I'm happy every single day, and life's a dream. It's like, no, but I'm grounded, I'm in inner union, and I make the most of every day. Some days are better than others. It's like everyone. But what I do know is I'm here to be very grounded, and I'm here to show up on camera, my actual face. So I'll be needing to make sure that I get to sleep at a decent time most nights so that I can do that. And like I said, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, I don't know about going live every day, but there'll be there'll be a video every day. So there is a video every day anyway, but like they want me to be on camera. But yeah, I think I will. As it happened, I think I will be live tomorrow. Oh yeah, actually, I'll be live a lot this week too, because you know what I mean. I'm going to do the rest of the signs anyway. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday, so I hope you do too. Be gentle with yourself. A lot of inner child healing. Basically, it's very simple. What I'm feeling here is some people there's going to be there's conversations that have already been had. There's conversations that are going to be had, or if you're not at that bit, you're healing your inner child. Just keep showing love to your inner child. Keep doing that. Keep working on what surfaces. Keep making a note and doing the appropriate healing. Being kind to yourself, not beating yourself up. And for other people, maybe you just need to like put down all the shadow work and just play, have fun, do something nice for yourself. You know what I mean? Because it can all be very intense. But right, I'm going to end that there now. See you later.